Thank you, Darren. It is wet and windy, as we've been saying. Teams are in the tunnel and ready to go. Friday night football here on BBC Radio 5 Live. The start of another mammoth weekend of live sport. Those Rugby World Cup semi-finals on the way on 5 Live Saturday and Sunday morning, but plenty of Premier League football for you as well. Starting with this one, Southampton sitting just above the bottom three on goal difference at the moment. 4 home games they've played so far this season, and they've only managed to grab 1 point from the 4 games. And Leicester City come out under Brendan Rodgers. They've started this season so well. They really do look like credible challengers for a top 4 finish this season. And just to emphasise that, a win tonight would take them a point ahead of Manchester City, who, as we've been saying, face Aston Villa at home tomorrow in the 12:30 kickoff. So darkness suddenly goes to bright light. The rain continues to pour. We can see giant Southampton flags, 3 of them either side of the halfway line. They don't even need to be waved in the wind this evening. They're almost being pulled out the hands of the people who are holding them. They're now gradually wrapping those up and heading towards the sanctuary of the tunnel and the dressing room. The players get the tracksuit tops off, and let's remind you the 2 team lineups. As I said, nice and easy, because both managers have gone with unchanged sides. Southampton after their 1-1 draw at Wolves, Leicester with the 2-1 home win over Burnley. Southampton first. Tony, we're not entirely sure. You think possibly a midfield diamond here, don't you? I've written it down as sort of 3-4-2-1. You possibly think they might have someone sitting in front of that 3 and then someone at the tip of a diamond?
Yeah, I think they'll be concerned with Maddison in the pockets, picking up balls and being able to play, passes wide to the 2 wide players, or even slipping little balls up the side for Vardy. So they might just go that way, but we'll wait and see. He's got the options to do 1 or 2 things in the middle of midfield.
Angus Gunn in goal. The back 3 we're certain of. The Pole, Jan Bednarek, Maya Yoshida, the Japanese international, and the Great Dane, Yannick Vestergaard. Giant figure with the long flowing hair, who plays on the left-hand side of that back 3. Jan Valery and Ryan Bertrand are the 2 wing-backs. Oriol Romeu and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg in central midfield. And then James Ward-Prowse and Nathan Redmond in support of Danny Ings up front. And we've been waxing lyrical about the striking form of Jamie Vardy this season. Well, Danny Ings has 5 goals in his last 4 games for Southampton, 2 of those in the League Cup against Portsmouth, but 3 in his last 3 Premier League games. And a nice piece with him in the match programme this evening as well, talking about playing under Brendan Rodgers at Liverpool and how much he enjoyed that. It actually got him an international call-up. Then he had the horrible injuries. He's back here, back where he grew up, and he's playing some good stuff for Southampton. Leicester have Kasper Schmeichel in goal. It's a team that really trips off the tongue. You can name it before you even turn up at the ground. Ricardo Pereira, right back. Ben Chilwell, who's probably England's first choice left back at the moment. Johnny Evans, who played under Tony at West Brom, and Chalas Soyuncu, who's done so well this season in that back 4. Wilfred Ndidi, the protector. Then Iosi Perez, Yuri Tielemans, James Maddison, and young Harvey Barnes in support of Jamie Vardy. 15 goals in 19 games since Brendan Rodgers took over. The next closest in terms of number of goals, Aubameyang and Mane on 13. That is just how well Jamie Vardy's been playing. So Southampton get themselves into the team huddle. The rain continues to fall. Leicester City in bright blue with white numbers on the backs, white shorts and blue socks, will play from left to right in this first half towards the Northam stand, and those travelling Leicester fans tucked away underneath the roofs. Decent roofs here, actually. They stretch out a long way, but it's a swirly wind as well. So I imagine if you're in the first sort of 15-20 rows there, you're probably getting a little bit damp. We're underway on BBC Radio 5 Live. Leicester kick off, and Ndidi plays it to the left-hand side. Valery chests it down and clears. Danny Ings gets a first touch, turns inside the Leicester half, loses the ball, and Leicester start to knock it around with Ndidi, who comes back to Soyuncu, across to Chilwell at left-back, clips one forward with his left foot. Breaks here for Maddison, who quickly gives it to Tielemans, who's suddenly bearing down on the Southampton goal, up to the edge of the box, goes tumbling over, and Andre Mariner says no free kick, and then all of a sudden Southampton have a chance on the counter because the clearance has found Danny Ings on the right. Nathan Redmond's making a run in behind Soyuncu, and Soyuncu has it covered, wins the ball, plays it to Chilwell, who clears with his left foot. That's a bright start, Tony Pulis.
Yeah, very much so, and in difficult conditions. You know, the wind's swirling around, it's still raining. I have to say, what a great turnout from Leicester as well, their supporters, who have travelled down tonight for the game.
Seen lots and lots of them again with the white scarves that they have held up in unison ahead of the kick-off. It's just under a year to the day since the chairman of the club, Vishai Swiat Hanaprapar, died in that awful helicopter crash at the stadium. Him and 4 others, and Southampton very respectfully have marked it with the match programme this evening. So on the back cover you can see that picture of all the fans with the white scarves up at the home game against Burnley last weekend, with a big picture of Kun Vishai and the words "always in our hearts," which were up on the big screen alongside him. So nicely marked by Southampton. I know the Leicester fans will have appreciated that. The 2 managers are out in the waterproof tops. Ralph Hasenhüttl has taken extra protection on top with a Tony Pulis style baseball cap that Tony's not gone for this evening because we're okay back here at the back of the stands. We are 2 minutes in. Southampton 0, Leicester 0. Good noise as well around us as Ryan Bertrand gets the ball back from a throw-in, and Didi tries to knock him off the ball. Ings chases, cleared by Johnny Evans. Vardy chest down, Perez gives it back to him. Little flick header from Vardy. Finds Harvey Barnes, who's just deciding what to do with it on the halfway line. Lays it off to Tielemans. Little spray of water comes up there as the ball is passed across the halfway line. There's a lot of surface water, Tony, on the pitch. Yeah,
they were out watering the pitch, I think, before it started raining, and with the rain coming down now, that's added to it, so it's a little bit slippery, a little bit wet.
Ricardo trying to barrel his way past a couple of defenders down the right. He's tackled, stumbles over. Vestergaard plays it into James Ward-Prowse, who knocks it back to Yoshida. Harvey Barnes is closing down there, and a hurried clearance gives the ball back to Leicester. Perez is trying to take it down the right, but Højbjerg in with the tackle up towards Redmond. He can't quite win the flick on. Soyuncu was there. He's watched Redmond well in the first couple of minutes because he's had 2 opportunities, Redmond, and Soyuncu has shut it down both times quickly. Ball just slowing up there in that surface water as Johnny Evans plays it back to Kasper Schmeichel. Schmeichel gives the clearance a little bit more with his right foot, releases Chilwell down the left-hand side. Chilwell just took too long to get the pass away. He's tackled, and it's out for a Leicester throw. Yeah,
they're playing with a 3 in midfield, and then they've got Redmond is up top with Ings. One of them will drop off and try and pick the holding midfield player up for Leicester. But it's definitely the 2 up front and the 3 in midfield.
That is the former Premier League Manager of the Year 2013-14, Tony Pulis, with us here at the St Mary's Stadium tonight. That year he was in charge of Crystal Palace, and a certain Liverpool team came to town late in the season under Brendan Rodgers chasing the title, and Tony's team were 3-0 down and managed to get it back to 3-3 in the closing stages of the game. And I actually looked in the record books, Tony, against Liverpool under Brendan Rodgers with 3 different teams. You played him 4 times and you didn't lose a game. So Ralph Hasenhüttl possibly should have given you a call ahead of this one.
Yeah. Now, we had quite a good record against Liverpool.
Yeah. And there was a 3-1 win against Stoke, with Stoke at home, I saw. I think there was a 0-0 at Anfield as well. Brendan Rodgers watching his Leicester team tonight, though. Winner throw on the right.
Alistair, with the way that's set up, what Leicester have got to do, they've got to switch play. You know, if you have a look at the spare players on the pitch, their fullbacks are going to be spare. If they can do that, if they can get out and switch quickly, then they can get 2-on-1s on the opposite side of the pitch. Again, if you look at it, Southampton have got all their players on the one side of the pitch. If you have a look at the near post, all their players are within that distance. Yeah, and there's loads and loads of spaces the other side of the pitch. So I expect that to happen tonight.
Ball down the left-hand side for Southampton at the moment. The ball's inside the Leicester half, flicked away by Ndidi. Header is won by Tielemans. The ball is launched high in the air. Great control by Maddison under pressure there, and then curls a pass towards Vardy, intercepted. Vestergaard gives it to Romeu. He curls his pass over the head of Harvey Barnes, and Valerie hits a hopeful one for Ward-Prowse to chase. Runs all the way into the Leicester City penalty area, and Kasper Schmeichel, who's already soaked to his skin, you can see his wet hair matted against his forehead already, bowls the ball out underarm, and it looks like the rain is sort of sweeping into his face as well. So it's one of those nights where a mistake or two could decide this game, like that pass across the Leicester back four that was almost intercepted by Højbjerg. Comes sliding in, took the ball, he tells Ricardo to get up on his feet because he thought Ricardo was diving there trying to win a free kick. I'm not sure he necessarily was, but he didn't like it anyway, Højbjerg. Maddison's lost it inside his own half on the left, and the throw-in will go to Southampton. Mike Dean, by the way, is your video assistant referee this evening, if we call upon VAR, and I think it's definitely the night, Tony, to be a VAR inside the studio in Stockley Park rather than the actual referee.
Now, if you have a look at the setup again, you know, both Leicester fullbacks are going to be important tonight, and as long as their midfield players can open up and get switches, they'll have loads and loads of space to play in.
Soyuncu with a hurried clearance, blocked by Danny Ings. Another throw in to Leicester. Game is yet to settle. You can probably actually hear the wind on our microphones at the moment, sort of whipping round the top level of the St Mary's Stadium. It was an awkward one for Ndidi to try and control. He's overhit the pass, and then a ball into Ings clears his head as well. Kasper Schmeichel spots an opportunity here to get Ricardo away down the right hand side, and the Portuguese fullback up to the halfway line floats a lovely pass onto the chest of Jose Perez, who took it down well. He's able to turn away from Bertrand. Low pass is blocked by the shaven-headed Spaniard Romeu. Now Tielemans on the ball for Leicester. Little give and go with Perez. Perez couldn't control it. Clearance away. Actually hit Vestergaard. Came back for Southampton. Redmond on the dribble. He's overrun it. Soyuncu is able to make the tackle, and here's James Maddison sitting a little deeper for Leicester at the start of this move. Gets on the ball again. Little low pass to Chilwell. Chilwell just picks up his pace. Plays a 1-2 with Harvey Barnes. Bit of space from on the left-hand side. Back into the feet of Barnes. Barnes is tackled on the edge of the area by Bednarek, and Leicester will rebuild on the left. Maddison is deep again. Comes back to the halfway line. Tony.
Yeah, well, if they keep switching play, their space, Leicester's space is going to be out wide on both sides of the pitch. You know, Southampton will be strong through the middle. They've got all their players through the middle, so Leicester have to switch play. You know, their two fullbacks have to get forward.
Chilwell into Barnes. Barnes is going to hit one, goes skidding across the wet top surface, goes bouncing wide and behind for the goal kick. Didn't quite catch it as he wanted to, but that's our first attempt on goal this evening, off target goal kick, Southampton.
Yeah, Brendan will be pleased with that. Like I say, the switch of play today, and the two wide players on both sides of the pitch will have a lot of space, the way Southampton is set up.
He's got some great choices, hasn't he, Tony? You were saying this in the build-up in terms of the squad building that Leicester had done. The likes of Chowdhury, another young Leicester player coming through. Damari Gray's on that bench. James Justin, young fullback they signed from Luton. Mark Albright with the experience, one of the title winners as well. It's a really nice blend that Leicester have. Valery under pressure here, playing back to his goalkeeper, and it's almost not far enough. Barnes tried to close it down. It's hacked away by Angus Gunn, and Angus Gunn has a right go at Jan Valery for not dealing with that more assertively. Romeu for Southampton inside his own half, back to Yoshida's, taking his time. Vardy's closing in. Yoshida did well and gets the pass away to James Ward-Prowse. Brings it forward. Romeu's first time ball, weak one, intercepted by Ndidi. Ball again is just slowing up. Those passes along the deck, you really have to hit them crisply and firmly to get there on this wet pitch. Leicester are building inside their own half, and Johnny Evans, who is very, very comfortable at playing out from the back, gives a pass to Soyuncu, and it comes across to Maddison, who again is going to start things from deep because he's alongside Chilwell inside his own half. Back to Soyuncu. Soyuncu across to Ricardo. Southampton are just chasing the ball at the moment. Perez just inside that Southampton half. Back to Ricardo. Tielemans in a tight space, can't beat Højbjerg. Southampton with the chance to counter. Here's Ings. Ings back to Bertrand. He had to stretch. Strong tackle. The ball breaks for Ndidi. Ndidi brings it forward for Leicester. He's got Maddison in space on his left-hand side, as is Chilwell. Chilwell's first-time ball. Barnes shoots, comes back to Ben Chilwell, who scores. Slides it home with his left foot. Less than 10 minutes played, and Ben Chilwell gives Leicester the lead in the rain at Southampton. It's only his second goal for the club, and he took it very nicely indeed. Southampton 0, Leicester 1.
Yeah, the build-up, there was a mistake, and then the build-up, but it's the fullbacks that are going to cause Southampton problems the way they've set up, and they'll have all the time and all the space in the world. It's just whether Leicester again can switch play quickly, but This is a kick in the ribs for Southampton, conceding the goal so early on.
VAR will check it, because VAR checks every single goal, so we'll just see whether there is anything that VAR can pick up on here. Chilwell continues his run. He comes from an offside position. He finishes it very nicely, Tony, from a tight angle.
Yeah, it's a great finish.
Slightly miscued by Chilwell, the first ball in. That was the one Barnes side-footed. Gunn makes a decent save with his right hand, but Chilwell, like a good striker actually, follows in and tucks it away nicely. So this is his 98th game for Leicester City, and that is only his second goal. And Ayoze Perez, that was the other thing in the build-up to the goal, as Andre Mariner is waiting here. There was a good advantage played by Andre Mariner, because Perez was fouled, but Leicester were able to go, having got the ball, and Andre Mariner is calling Ryan Bertrand over at the moment, and he's made the rectangle symbol with his fingers, and he's giving Ryan Bertrand a red card. So Leicester have scored, they're 1-0 up, and Southampton are down to 10 men. Ryan Bertrand has been sent off, and I'm presuming at the moment, Tony, that is for the challenge on Perez that injured him. Perez is waiting to come back on the pitch. I mean, Bertrand looks absolutely baffled by what's gone on. Ralph Hasenhüttl immediately is dealing with the situation that now faces him. Bertrand doesn't want to leave. He's chatting to the fourth official on the side of the pitch. I think he's just trying to get an explanation for why he's been sent off. We've not actually seen the replay on our monitors. They've not shown it on the big screen either. But that is a double blow for Southampton. Here's the challenge now, Tony. What do you think? Oh!
Yeah, I think that that picture tells the story. I think the referee's got that right.
Yeah, it's Bertrand on Perez. Perez is okay, but he's halfway up his leg with the challenge, with the studs. Strong left leg onto Ayoze Perez. Mike Dean, the video assistant referee, has got in touch with Andre Mariner and decided that should be a red card. Double blow, Leicester lead, Southampton down to 10 men.
Not the best 12 minutes Southampton have had this year.
Well, we were talking about the home record before the game. 1 point from 4 games. Liverpool won here 2-1. Tony was here for that one. They got the 1-1 draw against Manchester United. Lost against Bournemouth 3-1. Tony and I did that game together on a Friday night like this one for BBC Radio 5 Live, and Chelsea came here and stuck 4 past them. Leicester are giving the ball away, but Nathan Redmond can't keep it for Southampton inside the Leicester half, so Johnny Evans plays it to Ricardo. A real opportunity now for Leicester to press on, try and push home the advantage and really seal early in the game that second spot in the Premier League table. Good to see that Ayoze Perez is okay. He's up and running, and Vestergaard is being closed down by him. Vestergaard clears with his left foot. Soyuncu reads it, intercepts, plays it to Ndidi, cross to Vardy, Vardy to Tielemans and back to Maddison. Those two exchange quick passes. Tielemans to Perez, and then Maddison inside the Southampton half, and Leicester are going to see a lot of the ball for what is left of this game, and there's plenty of it because we've only played 14 minutes. 8 o'clock kickoff on BBC Radio 5 Live. If you are just tuning in, Southampton down to 10 men. Ryan Bertrand sent off after a referral from the video assistant referee. Mike Dean back at Stockley Park has decided it should have been a red for the challenge on Perez. Maddison is tackled on the edge of the Southampton area. Danny Ings is back there trying to win it, and Ndidi is going to shoot, blocked by Yoshida, cleared by Romeu. Johnny Evans steps in to win it back for Leicester, plays it here to Ricardo, doesn't mind a shot himself, clips the cross though into the penalty area. Bednarek heads it away, and Redmond is able to bring it away. Ricardo goes sliding in, Redmond holds him back. He's got both hands like a dance partner around his hips. Yeah, quite rightly he's penalised.
Ward-Prowse has gone to left back now, and they've pushed or they've dropped Redmond into midfield and kept Ings up by himself. So they're still with a 5, they're still with a 3, and Ings will be up front by himself.
Maddison for Leicester, who lead through the early goal from Ben Chilwell. Maddison's trying to switch play from left to right, so Ward-Prowse to that left wing back role that Tony was talking about, wins a header, nods it away. Perez with a back heel for Leicester to Ricardo, back towards Johnny Evans. Every single outfield Leicester player is inside the Southampton half, and they're pulling them from right to left at the moment. Harvey Barnes can't find Chilwell with the return pass. Good play from Højbjerg. clips one forward to Danny Ings, chests it down, his pass back to Højbjerg is overhit and goes out for the Leicester throw on the left. And this, I mean, Tony, you'll have been there plenty of times as a manager, down to 10. This is where you earn your corn, isn't it?
Well, Ings has got to do better than that. You know, he's gonna have to work really, really hard. But when the ball comes into him, he's got to try and keep it to give Southampton a chance to get up the pitch.
Jose Perez on the dribble on the right-hand side will fancy taking on Ward-Prowse, managed to get past him, then Ward-Prowse wins it back. He's clipped by Tielemans just inside his own penalty area, and Southampton get themselves a free kick. Southampton 0, Leicester 1. Brighton Everton is the 3 o'clock commentary on 5 Live tomorrow afternoon. 5 Live Sport on air from 12 o'clock, so we'll be building up towards all the 3 o'clock games. We'll have updates on Manchester City against Aston Villa, which kicks off at 12:30, and then your 2 Premier League commentaries on Sunday. Newcastle against Wolves at 2 o'clock, and then John Murray and Michael Brown will be bringing you Liverpool Tottenham at 4:30 on Sunday afternoon. Header from Ings in towards Redmond, bounces up nicely for Soyuncu, who nods it back to Kasper Schmeichel, who may not have too much to do this evening, and Chilwell is full of beans having scored his goal, goes sprinting away down the left-hand side and plays a lovely pass to Barnes. Good touch away from Romeu, tried to foul him, didn't manage it, ball might run to Tielemans, right-footed drive, 2-0 for Leicester. They're cruising, 16 minutes played, Southampton 0, Leicester 2.
Again, a great break down the left-hand side, Chilwell and Barnes, great interplay and a great finish, to be honest. Good touch out of his feet. And this looks as though it's going to be a very long night for Southampton.
Yuri Tielemans with his 4th goal of the season so far, a 3rd in the Premier League. So much time there, Tony, just to take the touch and pick his spot.
Well, he's got to change it, in my opinion. You can't give the space or give that much space to, you know, they've got 2 very, very good fullbacks who are good on the ball, both want to get forward, and they've exploited the space. You know, been playing for 17 minutes, and the pockets wide are so big, and these 2 will just fill it all day. They'll just run forward all day, and they've got such good quality when they get there.
So if you've got the likes of Ben Chilwell, Yuri Tielemans, Leicester players in your fantasy football team, if you are part of the Fantasy 606 League, good start for you. My goalkeeper in my fantasy team is a certain fella called Angus Gunn. Not quite such a good start for me.
Chin up, Alistair.
Yeah, exactly, Tony. Still plenty of time to go. We've not even played 20 minutes in the first half, and the rain is driving down ever harder. Southampton struggling to keep the ball and get out of their half. They're down to 10 men. They're 2-0 down. And Johnny Evans has it for Leicester. Plays it to the right to Ricardo. Into Jose Perez. Tielemans 1-2. Perez is in. He's beaten Gunn. It's 3-0. Leicester are running riot. It's another lovely 1-2. And Jose Perez is bundled on by his teammates. They celebrate his first goal for the club, and this could be any number tonight. Southampton 0, Leicester 3.
Again, they've just outnumbered them down the outside of the pitch. They've played some good football, pass and move, and it's a good finish again. Great finish.
Leicester fans absolutely loving it. They've got those white scarves, they're twirling them above their heads, and this is a horror show for Southampton. And Ralph Hasenhüttl is immediately called Pierre-Emile Højbjerg over to try and sort things out, because Leicester are cutting them to ribbons. And quite often, Tony, I mean, we say it all the time, don't we? Sometimes playing against 10, I mean, particularly when the game is level, can be harder, but at the moment Leicester are just running through it.
Yeah, you know, obviously it's a dreadful start. To concede a goal so early and have a player sent off is absolutely dreadful. But you've got to show some character, and you've got to show some fight, and certainly now they've got to roll their sleeves. 3-0 down after 20 minutes has not gone by yet. They've really, really got to show some character.
Danny Ings with a header in field. James Ward-Prowse not playing left back anymore. He's up on the edge of the Leicester penalty area. He's trying to get past Indeed. He goes down. Won't get the free kick. He's holding his left leg in pain. James Maddison has walloped the ball clear, and Jamie Vardy is yet to score this evening. I think he will be rubbing his hands together at the moment, because Leicester are opening Southampton up with ease. Southampton start in the evening just above the relegation zone on goal difference, but actually, having already conceded 3, they drop into it as things stand, because Newcastle's goal difference is -9, and Southampton's very quickly moves to -10, and there is a long, long way to go in this game. Leicester have been ruthless so far. Chilwell, Tielemans, Perez. Could Angus Gunn have done better, Tony, with the third goal there, beaten at his near post by Perez, or was it Power that beat him?
Oh, I think it's a very slippery surface as well. I think it's difficult in some ways. Like I say, I would have been concerned right from the start with the space that Leicester were going to get outside the pitch, and especially with the two fullbacks that they've got.
Coming again, Harvey Barnes floats a high ball into the box. Perez jumps, it might drop to Ndidi on the edge of the area, gets there first. Tielemans lays it off to Ndidi, he overhits it this time, and Brendan Rodgers jumps up and down like a little child in the technical area in frustration, because he could see the move building again, and he wants Leicester to score more goals. They are definitely moving to second in the Premier League table tonight, unless Southampton really can do something miraculous. Ralph Hasenhüttl has real problems on his hands. 3-0 down.
He's changed it. Valerie's come over here now, he's playing left back or left wing back. Prowse has gone over the other side, whether he's playing wing back or wide I'm not sure yet. Ings has dropped to the left hand side and playing wide left, and Redmond's left now up front to work by himself.
Maddison to Barnes, up to the edge of the Southampton penalty area. Perez fancies his chances again. That shot is blocked by Højbjerg. Leicester build down the right. Tielemans hugging that right hand touchline. Nice pass, finds Ricardo, and the ball comes off the legs of Højbjerg again and behind for the corner. He turns immediately and has a good old shout at the rest of his teammates, claps his hands together, and as Tony Pulis was just saying, it's a lot about pride now for Southampton. They can't go down 5, 6 or 7. James Maddison gets warm applause from the Leicester fans. He returns that applause as he confidently strides towards the corner flag to take the corner. Midway through the first half, Southampton 0, Leicester 3. Ryan Bertrand sent off for a challenge on Jose Perez in the build-up to Leicester's first goal. Maddison's curling free kick, good delivery into the near post, headed away. Tielemans lays it off here to Ricardo, swinging cross to the far post, and Gunn is able to catch that on his goal line, grabs it with both hands and comes running out to the edge of his penalty area. And Jamie Vardy is saying to Jose Perez and Harvey Barnes, stay up with me, stay up with him. If he goes short, we can press it, and he's decided against that. Southampton just need a 10-minute spell here, Tony, don't they, just to get steady.
Well, I was going to say they need to get hold of the ball, but it's going to be difficult. The confidence through the Leicester team, everybody for Leicester are wanting the ball, and they're using it very well.
Højbjerg down the left-hand side. Redmond. Johnny Evans was appealing for offside because Redmond popped up from behind him. Redmond's beaten Evans, chips his cross in to the area. Soyuncu heads it away. Ricardo with a second header. Perez is able to keep that in for Leicester, deep inside his own half. The nicest ball back to Ricardo, and his first touch ran away from him, and it's gone out for a throw into Southampton on the left.
Now Brendan will be absolutely delighted with what he's seen so far from his team. It's a very, very difficult one. He's not sure what shape he should go to, and like I said before the game, he's been tossing and turning with the shape of the team and with the players. And again, we've not played long, and he's had that player sent off, but he's changed it 3 times already.
Yeah. Here's Højbjerg for Southampton. Rare bit of possession for them inside the Leicester half. Gets it back from Ward-Prowse. Leicester have everyone bar Jamie Vardy behind the ball, so quickly back into their defensive shape, leading 3-0 and currently heading second in the Premier League table. Ball intercepted by Yoshida on the halfway line, played to Vestergaard, sweeps his pass low to Valerie, who's now playing left wing back. Nice pass to Redmond, good turn from him and a step over up to the corner of the box, lays it off to Valerie. He's got 2 Leicester players in front of him, he flicks it up. A couple of Southampton fans in front of us shout handball. Andre Mariner was there, didn't see anything. Johnny Evans clears. Jose Perez plays it to Maddison. Maddison across his own half. The ball again just slows up on this wet top surface, and Chilwell just takes his time, and Leicester in absolutely no rush now. They'll probe for the openings and take their chances when they come, but they are in total control of this game. Leading 3-0. Tielemans playing back to Johnny Evans on the halfway line. Evans with his right foot fires one at Perez, lays it off to Ricardo. Quick 1-2 between him and Maddison. They don't quite get that right, and then Ricardo is in too strongly this time on Danny Ings, And that's a free kick.
Yeah, they look as though they've gone more with a 4 now. Ward-Prowse will look after Chilwell coming forward, but it looks as though they've gone to a back 4 in midfield with just Redmond up front.
Vestergaard gets ready to take this free kick just inside his own half. Højbjerg comes jogging towards him. They don't go for the short one. Vestergaard goes long and right, high drifting ball. Chilwell jumps for it. He got the last touch, so he goes out for a Southampton throw on the right. 20 minutes to play in the first half, and it's already looking like a lost cause for the home team. 3-0 down to 10 men. The early lunge from Ryan Bertrand has cost them dear. Redmond's cross has gone behind the dead ball line. It's come back into play, but the assistant referee spotted it, and so that will be a goal kick to Leicester. And that's the thing, isn't it, Tony, with the video assistant referee? Andre Mariner last season, you know, he didn't spot that in real time. Bertrand would have stayed on the pitch. The Leicester players actually at the time didn't make too much complaint, but Mike Dean felt that deserved a straight red card.
Listen, there's no question it's a red card. He's gone right over the ball. It's a bad challenge, and he deserves to be sent off.
Soyuncu bringing the ball out of the Leicester half, plays it to Chilwell, who gives it straight back to him. Soyuncu to Maddison in his long-sleeved blue Leicester shirt, gives it to Johnny Evans. Evans to Maddison. Maddison wide to Chilwell. Lots of space in front of him. Looking to try and find Barnes. Pass wasn't good enough for Barnes, so Romeo has it. He's almost lost it to Tielemans. Under pressure, back to Yoshida. Yoshida quickly gets his pass away to Bednarek on the right for Southampton. Pass goes long down the right-hand touchline. Soyuncu with the header away. Maddison wants to go quickly down the left for Leicester. Finds Harvey Barnes, and Jamie Vardy is just jogging dangerously into position in the middle, but Barnes has lost it. Southampton clear only as far as Tielemans. Tielemans on the turn, gives it to Ndidi. Ndidi, master of all he surveys at the moment, wide open spaces across the pitch, plays it to Ricardo, back to Johnny Evans, into Ndidi, and Leicester at the moment at walking pace, building, then they quicken it up. Longer ball wide left to Chilwell to Barnes. Barnes with his back to goal, lays it off to Tielemans for Leicester, wide to Chilwell, nicely worked down the left-hand side. Took another touch there, Chilwell, could have possibly got the cross in, but he's played it back to Barnes. Maddison with a 1-2, Barnes goes down. Leicester appeal for either a free kick or a penalty, nothing given, and that'll go out for a goal kick to Southampton. Tony Pulis.
At least Southampton now have got players, in good pockets that they can stop Chilwell. Well, they can stop the two full-backs if they want by themselves in midfield, stretching themselves. The first 10 minutes, quarter of an hour, it was so obvious that the Leicester full-backs had so much space. And two full-backs again. There's not many full-backs in the Premiership like these two who will get forward at every opportunity. And it just looked a weakness right from the start, Alistair, for Southampton, the way they'd set up.
And Leicester were ruthless, because as soon as Southampton went down to 10, they didn't let them settle. They banged in 2 quick goals. Southampton have finally got themselves organised, but it's too little too late. We were just watching replays again there as Yoshida goes long and high into the wind. The ball really held up there for Redmond, who's able to bring it down inside the Leicester half. Comes back to Romeo forward to no one in particular, and that'll run out for a goal kick to Leicester.
This is so difficult now for Southampton, 3-0 down. It's not great conditions, and Leicester keep the ball. They've got so many good players who can keep the ball, and it's going to be such a long night for them.
Yeah, Ralph Hasenhüttl does not look happy, and that's a bit of an understatement. Arms crossed, then he cups his hands together, shouts across the field. A nightmare for him. Southampton struggling at home this season, struggling in general this season, and Ryan Bertrand really has not helped him out. And here come Leicester again with Barnes, looking to try and release Vardy down the inside left channel. He's tackled, Vestergaard clears, but again it goes straight back to Leicester possession. Here's Ndidi with his right foot, floats a pass for Ricardo to chase, shoulder to shoulder with Valerie, who gets the last touch, and the ball goes out for the Leicester throw. And Harvey Barnes, just going back to that replay, played the 1-2 with Maddison. Romeo just sort of held his ground, and then Barnes went over his leg, and I think Andre Mariner decided Romeo couldn't really get out of the way, and maybe Barnes had made just a little too much of that, which is why Leicester didn't get the free kick.
Barnes has had a good start to the game as well. He's looked really bright on that side of the pitch.
Perez has lost it on the turn. That's cleared by Danny Ings in the left back position for Southampton. Leicester attacking down the left. Here goes Barnes again. Bednarek wins that battle though, too strong for him. Brings the ball away. Redmond then too quick for Soyuncu, and away he goes, being chased by Chilwell and Soyuncu and Ndidi. Got teammates in the middle. Can he find them? Ings really has to stretch. Does brilliantly to bring that ball down out of the sky. Works it onto his right foot. Low ball to Højbjerg. Into the box. Finds Valerie. Shoots straight at Schmeichel, who makes a comfortable save.
Yeah, it's the best passes you play Southampton have had. They've kept the ball well. They've got runners in behind, and really and truthfully, the lad should score. That's a great opportunity to score a goal there.
Ralph Hasenhüttl likes that. He's applauded that, and he says that is much, much better. Ball has gone out from Schmeichel's clearance for a throw-in to Southampton. 14 minutes remaining in the first half. Southampton 0, Leicester 3. 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, by the way. Our coverage starts, our build-up towards England-New Zealand in that first Rugby Union World Cup semi-final. Sonia McLaughlin with the coverage. Chris Jones, Matt Dawson, Paul Grayson and Andrew Mertens, your commentary team for the big one tomorrow. Kicks off at 9, and then Wales, South Africa. We'll do it all again on Sunday for you. Southampton enjoying a slightly better spell at the moment. Grim night weather-wise, and it's a grim night on the scoreboard for them as well. Valerie is tackled, throw-in for Southampton on the left.
They've settled down a bit, at least Alistair. And they've kept the ball, and they've got to keep the ball tonight. I say that, they just give it away.
Giving it away to Jamie Vardy, which is always dangerous. Harvey Barnes immediately spots the opportunity. Vardy keeps it, running forward, fancies the shot, slices it badly. That is very un-Vardy-like. It goes 20 yards wide for a goal kick.
Well, he could have played him in as well. There was a pass wide. But Vardy's going to shoot, The runner form he's on at the moment, I don't think he's going to be looking to pass too often tonight.
That is one of those that features on Too Good, Too Bad at the end of Match of the Day 2 when they look for the funnies, because you don't often see Jamie Vardy do that, and as Tony says, particularly in the form he's been in. Funnily enough, his goal-scoring record against Southampton in the Premier League is not the best. Played against them 9 times and only scored 2 goals, both in the same game. In the title-winning season, funnily enough, they were 2-0 down. And I remember him getting a 90th minute equaliser here in that game back in October 2015. Crucial point at the time it was, and it was when he was on that scoring streak, setting that Premier League record of scoring in 11 consecutive league games. Free kick Southampton, 12 minutes remaining in the first half. Vestergaard thumps it with his right foot to the right. Chilwell gets a really good run and leap to win the header and gives it to Barnes. Good pass from Barnes, finds Maddison in space on the left-hand side. He'll look for Vardy, he'll look for Perez. Swinging cross, well hit with the left foot, just beyond both of them. And I think it'll go out for a throw-in to Southampton.
Every time they get the ball, Leicester, they've got runners. They've got people who are trying to get behind Southampton's back line. And you look at all the top teams, Alistair, they've got players in midfield that can keep the ball, but also players who can make that pass. And they're certainly getting the runners.
Throw in for Southampton. Wind is gusting up again. Nathan Redmond does well to win a header, but the problem he's got is he flicks it on to no one. Ings chases hard, closes Schmeichel down, but Schmeichel's got all the time in the world just to side foot his pass to Johnny Evans. Evans with his left foot caresses one forward to Ricardo into the feet of Vardy. Crisp layoff to Tielemans, who just stumbles as he gets his pass away to Ndidi. Chilwell comes steaming forward again, looks up, crosses in towards Vardy. Vestergaard is there to clear. Barnes immediately onto the clearance, lays it off to Chilwell. Lovely touch and turn from Barnes again, gives it to Chilwell in space, pulls it back. Great shot from Barnes, and Gunn almost spilled it. He went through him and he had time to turn and grab it on the goal line before it was a fourth for Leicester.
They've been fantastic, those two over there, Barnes and Chilwell, getting forward. Two young, very, very exciting players.
Harvey Barnes will be doing himself no harm at all in terms of Gareth Southgate watching this game and the football he's playing for Leicester at the moment. England have a lot of options in those areas, but at 21 years old, he's another one who will certainly be on Gareth Southgate's radar. Redmond is tackled, Ricardo clears with his right foot, but just before that chance, Tony, the touch and turn from Barnes was lovely, wasn't it? Just fabulous.
No, he's impressed tonight, right from the start. The two of them look very, very good players over there.
10 minutes remaining in the first half. Southampton so far this season, coming into this one, 2 wins in 9. Leicester have given the ball away to Danny Ings, hits the curler just too high. Kasper Schmeichel will tell you he had it covered. Warm applause from the Southampton fans. That's the best they've seen from their team so far. And it's behind for the Leicester goal kick. That was a shot from a striker in form.
Yeah, the supporters have been good as well for Southampton. They've not got on their backs. So, at the moment, anyway, fingers crossed, as long as they roll, as of what we've talked about, roll the sleeves up, keep the shape when they haven't got the ball, don't give them too many opportunities, and then when they get the ball, it's important that Redmond now, who's playing up by himself, keeps that ball and gives them time to get up and support him.
2 wins in 9 before this game tonight will very likely become 2 wins in 10, and they finished last season with 1 win in 7. Here's Iosi Perez into the penalty area, clips his shot away straight at Angus Gunn, who makes the save. So that'll be a run of just 3 wins in 17 Premier League games under Ralph Hasenhüttl, which is not great. And here's the bad news, Tony. Their next 2 games are both against Manchester City. So they've got them away in the League Cup on Tuesday night, and then they've got them away in the league. I mean, that's a nightmare.
Yep.
Away in the league next weekend. So they've got to deal with those, and then Everton come here. So that will be a big game for them. Dropping into the bottom 3 as things stand. It's been a horrible night for Southampton into the last 10 minutes of the first half, and Leicester enjoying themselves, playing well, man advantage with Bertrand sent off. Maddison, right-footed pass to Evans, quickly on to Ricardo, up to Tielemans, round the corner to Perez. Tielemans chases, not quite got the gas to get there. Vestergaard intercepts at left back. Here's Oriol Romeu, who's hassled to the floor by Perez. Andre Mariner blows his whistle, and he gives the free kick to Southampton, which Vestergaard gets ready to take.
Man City twice away.
Oh,
I know. He won't be
worse.
He won't be sleeping very well over the next couple of weeks.
Manchester City up against Aston Villa tomorrow. Win that one, and they will close the gap on Liverpool to 3 points. But as I was telling you, it's Liverpool-Tottenham, which is part of 5 Live's Premier League Sunday. That's our 4:30 commentary. And then we've got League Cup commentaries middle of next week. Actually, Leicester are going to feature again. They're our commentary game on Tuesday night away at Nigel Clough's Burton, who reached the semi-finals of that competition last season. And on Wednesday night, 5 Live will bring you commentary of Liverpool-Arsenal in the League Cup. 5 Live Sports Extra will bring you Chelsea-Manchester United. There's the small matter that night as well of Aston Villa against Wolves. There's some really good cup ties next week. 7 minutes remaining in the first half. Rain has been incessant here. Johnny Evans looks up and pings a 40-yarder with great accuracy. Ball bounces once. Perez controls it, plays it back to his right back Ricardo, gives it back to Perez. Tielemans takes a touch onto his left foot and gives it to Ndidi. Ward-Prowse tried to read it and cut it out, but it's got to Chilwell. Chilwell's cross in towards the far post. Oh, Valerie wasn't watching. Perez nips in. It's 4-0. Wonderful finish on the half volley, but Jan Valerie was fast asleep at the back post, and Southampton are getting humiliated here. Southampton 0, Leicester 4.
What a cross from Chilwell as well. He's picked him out. He hasn't just played it, he's picked the pass out. It's a great finish.
Great finish from Perez. He's now on the hat-trick. Jamie Vardy scratching his head and thinking, well, how have I not got on the score sheet this evening? And Ben Chilwell, he's scored one, and he's down that left-hand side, been so good. It's a lovely finish, isn't it, Tony? Son scored one like that for Tottenham in the Champions League in midweek, where you just time it, don't you?
Yeah, great switch of play, but look at the quality. He's just picked him out, and it's a fabulous finish. It's poor defending.
I was just going to ask you if I was harsh on Valerie. No,
not at all.
I'm glad I get Tony's back in there. I think if that was one of Tony's defenders at half-time, Tony, what would...
His body shape, he doesn't even know the player there. He's not even turned his shoulders and had a look to see if the player's there initially. But his body shape, he's so closed, he's not going to know what's around him at all.
Rob Knopfman, our producer's just spotted a lot of people heading for the exits now. That could be for the early half-time cup of tea. It could be, Tony, the way things are going on a night like tonight. It could be, do you know what? Let's pack it in tonight. We'll come back another day from the Southampton fans.
Yeah, like I say, you come here tonight, they come here full of optimism, hoping that they'll get a win at home and set them up again to have a decent run in the league. And within 12 minutes they're a goal down to 10 men. It's been a nightmare for them.
5 minutes remaining in the first half, and that was the key moment in the game. Not just that opening goal, but it was the VAR decision to send Ryan Bertrand off. So it was his straight leg challenge high up the leg of Ayoze Perez that saw him sent off. Leicester went on to score the goal. Southampton immediately down to 10 men. Leicester banged in 2 quick ones after that, and now they are 4-0 to the good, and Southampton look utterly demoralised, as do their fans all around us. Throw in for Leicester on the left hand side. Chilwell gets ready to take. James Maddison and Højbjerg just jostling for position, giving each other a little shove. Maddison says something to Andre Mariner about the attentions he was receiving. Ricardo plays the ball up to the right. Perez, that was clever that, he let the ball run across his body, took it away from Valerie. Now he's got caught up on the right, but Leicester have managed, no, they haven't won it back. The ball has actually gone out for a throw-in to Southampton on the left. It'll do Perez the world of good as well though, Tony, because signed for 30 million quid, not scored yet this season, 2 tonight, and he's taken them both well.
I think he's a good player. I think he's got, technically he's an excellent player. And then, playing wide as well, he can find spaces and pockets to play in. And you do give him time. He can, again, he's another one who can pick a pass, but he can also score a goal. Well, he showed that last year at Newcastle.
Yeah, ball's gone out for throwing to Leicester on the right. 13 goals for Newcastle last season. Ayoze Perez, 12 of those in the Premier League. Chilwell on fire this evening, trying to get going down the left again. Maddison's looking for him. Chilwell's in space, just manages to keep the ball in, but has lost it now. He's tackled. Romeu has it. He's looking for Ings in the middle. Ings has to scamper back to collect that for Southampton. Valerie slightly overhits that ball, but Højbjerg was able to stretch and bring it down. Valerie on the move ahead of him down the left-hand side. Højbjerg takes it infield. Short little pass to Romeu, 40 yards from the Leicester goal. 2.5 minutes remaining in what's been a miserable first half for Southampton. Valerie comes in off that left flank, can't find Ings, passes it straight to Soyuncu. Perez clears for Leicester, and Ndidi tucks a little ball round the corner, and Chilwell's just got so much space to glide forward into there. Barnes to his right, Vardy ahead of him has run offside. Chilwell's overrun it, goes down, doesn't get the free kick.
I think that's most probably the first thing he's done wrong all game, because he had the opportunity of again playing someone in.
Ings,
it's a great challenge.
Yeah, brilliantly tackled by Ndidi. That was man and ball. Ings has stayed down. Here comes Barnes onto his right foot, still going. Harvey Barnes into the box, challenges on him. He's ridden all of them down to the byline. Now can he find his pass? Plays it back to Maddison. Great block from Romeu. Ball comes to Barnes. Barnes across the face of the box here to Perez on the hat-tricks. His shot is blocked. Ndidi is able to control it. Plays it back to Soyuncu. And Southampton just can't draw breath at the moment because Leicester are coming at them every time Southampton clear the ball away. Maddison on the turn, 40 yards from goal. Swings a pass out to Ricardo on the right-hand side. Little ball into the feet of Perez, laid off to Tielemans. Tielemans to Maddison. Those two play a little 1-2. Back to Johnny Evans. Evans to Ndidi, across to the left to Chilwell. And now it's the Olays from the Leicester fans, who are having a lovely time in the pouring rain on the south coast this Friday evening on BBC Radio 5 Live. Their team is leading 4-0. They're going second in the Premier League table, and Southampton at the moment just cannot get anywhere near them. Leicester are toying with them. Maddison and Ndidi play a 1-2. Ndidi moves it quickly to the left. Chilwell with a little volleyed ball in. This falls to Vardy. Must be 5-0. Vardy gets in on the party, holds his arms out wide in celebration. I think the Southampton fans might have been giving him a little bit of stick there, because he had something to say to them, and then very sensibly he goes over and celebrates with the Leicester fans. And would you believe it, Leicester have 5 before half-time. Southampton 0, Leicester 5.
That is some goal as well, Alistair. I don't know how many passes were made before it came to Vardy, and when it didn't he take it well? Absolutely first class. Forget this now, that the Southampton players get paid a hell of a lot of money, and whether they're down to 10 men, 9 men or whatever, what they need to do is roll their sleeves up and show some character, not just for themselves but for the manager and for the supporters of this football club. They have to stand up, otherwise this is going to be totally embarrassing.
Yeah, it's collapsing. It has collapsed. The roof has fallen in on Southampton in the first half, all stemming from the Ryan Bertrand challenge that saw him sent off via a VAR review, but Leicester have been all over Southampton ever since then. And I tell you what, the way this Leicester team play, they'll go for 5 more in the second half.
They've been fantastic, absolutely. It's the first time I've seen them live. They've been absolutely fantastic.
We're into added time at the end of the first half, 2 minutes of it. Southampton just cannot wait for that half-time whistle to get into that dressing room, and Ralph Hasenhüttl is going to have to rip into them, because yes, they've been down to 10 men, but as Tony says, there has not been the requisite application, determination, pride, spirit, fight to try and keep Leicester at bay. But Leicester have been excellent. Here's Perez, who's on the hat-trick. Jamie Vardy will certainly want more goals as well. And Leicester have got so much time and room and space again on the left-hand side. Chilwell to Barnes. Barnes infield to Ndidi. Leicester are just jogging here. They're under no pressure at all. 40 yards from the Southampton goal. Ricardo the 1-2 with Tielemans. It's so easy. Valerie eventually gets in, makes the challenge and knocks it behind for a corner.
Yeah, I really do feel for the manager. The manager he's prepared them all week for this game, and then to be in the position that he's in, you can't do nothing about it. And that's why we talked about good characters and the team and the squad being together. This is when you need them. You need your players now more than ever.
Half-time whistle blows. You can hear the reaction from the Southampton fans. Ralph Hasenhüttl does have an excuse in the fact that Ryan Bertrand was sent off early in the game, but his team have collapsed in front of his eyes. Leicester have been absolutely ruthless, and there cannot be too many Premier League teams that have conceded 5 goals in the first half of a league game. It has been nothing short of a nightmare for Southampton. Half-time score here, Southampton 0, Leicester 5. Thank you very much, Darren. Thank you very much. I'll tell you what was interesting, Tony, was Ralph Hasenhüttl was out on the side of the pitch. He's made a double change, by the way, at half-time, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But he was out on the touchline and the players were still in the dressing room, so he's obviously given them a rocket and decided he can't look at them anymore and come out before them.
Well, he's just hoping that the players, you wonder whether the players wanted to come out.
Yeah.
Whether they had to be forced out. Now, he's made 2 changes. It's very, very important now that the players, there's a lot of supporters still stayed. They haven't gone home. That they just give everything now for themselves, for the team, for the manager and the supporters. It is a test of character now.
I'm just trying to work out who's come off, because I didn't see the numbers go up. So it's 2 defenders who've come on.
Ings has gone off.
And
the centre half,
Vestergaard. Yes, you're right.
Yep.
Vestergaard and Ings are off. Jack Stevens and Kevin Danso have come on. Danso's the Austrian on loan from Augsburg. Stevens is starting at right back in a back 4 in this second half. Danso at left back. So you've got Bednarek and Yoshida as the 2 centre-backs. Poor old Angus Gunn in goal we were just talking about. Højbjerg, Romeu and James Ward-Prowse. And Jan Valery, I guess, is a midfield 4 with Nathan Redmond playing through the middle. That's how Southampton are going to try and cope in the second half. And Leicester, as you'd expect, unchanged. Kasper Schmeichel in goal. Ricardo Pereira, Johnny Evans, Chalar Soyuncu and Ben Chilwell, who had a brilliant first half. Chilwell down the left-hand side, linking up with Harvey Barnes. Barnes, Maddison, Tielemans and Perez, who already has 2 goals. Tielemans is playing it through to Barnes here. Yoshida's just been able to stop him. He loses it to Vardy. And Vardy shoots. It's well saved by Angus Gunn. Maybe that'll get me another point in my fantasy team. It's gone behind for a corner. Leicester are winning 5-0, but cool, blimey, I just wonder how many it's going to be.
Yeah, you do worry about the score here tonight.
Also, just looking around, Tony, there are a lot of empty seats that weren't empty in the first half. So there are some Southampton fans who've basically decided they've seen enough. Corner for Leicester. James Maddison holds both hands in the air. Low, pacey corner to Tielemans. Maddison lets it run to Chilwell into the near post. Evans gets a touch, easily saved by Angus Gunn. Surely that can't count as another save as well, but I'll take anything that's going. By the way, that Fantasy 606 podcast, if you've not heard it, is available via the BBC Sounds app, as is the 5 Live Football Daily, which will be available for you tomorrow morning. So it'll have reflections on this game And the build-up, as always, with Darren and Leon Osman towards the Premier League fixtures this weekend. Throw in for Southampton on the right-hand side. Red and white vertical stripes on the front of the shirts. Bold red on the back. Black stripe across the shoulders. Black shorts and white socks with the red bands around them 3/4 of the way up. And they are trailing by 5-0. Ryan Bertrand sent off via VAR for a challenge in the build-up to the first goal. And then Southampton have completely fallen apart since then. Let's see what they've got in the second half. I know, Tony, you'll have been down there and you'd have dealt with situations like this. You feel for the manager here, don't you?
Well, it's a lonely job there now. He's sat there. He knows he's not going to get nothing out of the game in respect of points, or that's all he's looking for now is a little bit of character. The players to give it everything they've got, and to make a fist of the second half. If anything, can we get in either winning a half, or even just keeping it as
0-0.
0-0.
Yeah.
That's the best you can hope for.
Ball's come off Ben Chilwell's back and gone out for a throw into Southampton on the right. And we'll have to see how intent Leicester are on trying to rack up the goals in the second half. Brendan Rodgers' waterproof top got so wet in the first half that he's put another one over the top of it. He's got a black one on now. Big padded black Leicester jacket with a hood on the back, but he's not got the hood up. Here goes Harvey Barnes again, down the left. Romeo tries to knock him off the ball. He can't do it. Barnes is still running, gives it to Maddison. Maddison up to the edge of the area, back to Barnes, who deserves a goal around the keeper, but Angus Gunn gets a touch on it and just diverted it away from Harvey Barnes, and Kevin Danso brings it away down the left. Maddison sticks with him, slides in and knocks it out for a Southampton throw.
Listen, for Leicester, you're 5-0 up. Some of them could take their foot off the pedal and think the game's over, but they've come out, and for the first 5 minutes they look right on it again. It's just great credit to Brendan and to his players. They haven't taken their foot off the pedal at all.
Ball's back with Kasper Schmeichel.
Not good news for Southampton, mind, and the supporters.
Kasper Schmeichel playing it out with his right foot. The weather has not changed one iota over half-time, so we've still got swirling winds and we've still got driving rain sweeping across this stadium. Ricardo's crossing, great ball. Vardy stretches, can't quite get on the end of it with his left foot. Good anticipation by Vardy, and quite rightly there, Tony. Vardy puts his thumb up to Ricardo and says that is a fantastic cross. Those two full-backs have been absolutely fantastic tonight. They're both so willing to get forward, and when they get forward they've got real good quality. And to be fair, the two lads in front of them haven't done too bad tonight neither. Do you think, Tony, they are realistic contenders for a top four finish, Leicester, this season? Well, it's difficult again because Southampton have been very poor, right. And I mean very poor, and they get an early goal, then they go down, or Southampton go down to 10 men, and they've got better players than Southampton. They've got better balance, better players. The confidence that has run through or is running through the team because of the good start this season that they've had. Everything is in their favour, and there'll be sterner challenges than this, but if you're taking it on tonight, they've been very, very good, very impressive. They are heading to 20 points from 10 games so far this season. Liverpool top of the table on 25. Leicester will move 1 point above Manchester City, and they kick off at 12:30 tomorrow at home against Aston Villa. We'll have updates on that in 5 Live Sport. Ian Dennis and Alan Pardew will bring you commentary from 3 o'clock on Brighton against Everton. So Ian's not too far away, I wouldn't have thought, Tony, as we speak. He didn't drop in for a cup of tea, did he? Because I know you and he are good pals. No, I think he's staying at Cobham tonight. He mentioned some pub he knew and some pub that he would watch the game at. Okay. You know Deno as well as me. I do. Hopefully he's listening. Hopefully he's watching with the sound down and listening. So Ian Dennis and Alan Pardew with Brighton Everton tomorrow, and then we've got 2 commentaries back to back on Sunday for you. I'll tell you about those in a second, because here come Leicester again. Chilwell on the left, gets his cross in, but it's straight at Angus Gunn, grabs it with both hands. Perez actually have made a nice run across the near post there. He holds his head in his hands as if he could have easily got a touch on it for a Leicester City hat-trick. I think he was more disappointed that Barnes never picked him out. Actually played Chilwell in when Perez was in a better position to receive the ball. Newcastle Wolves, your 2 o'clock commentary on Sunday, and then Liverpool against Tottenham kicks off at 4:30, and we've got full commentary on that one. And by the way, 2 weeks on Sunday, Liverpool against Manchester City, kicking off at 4:30 on Sunday, the November the 10th, is also a commentary on BBC Radio 5 Live, and that should be some game of football. Here's Chilwell on the left for Leicester. Maddison looks up, looks for the runners. Perez is one of those wide right. Danso is able to get his head on that crossfield pass and nod it away. But Perez has it. Little ball forward to Tielemans. Back to Perez on the dribble into the box. Southampton got to be careful. Perez drives it at the near post, and Gunn in the right position gets his body behind it and makes the save. So that's 3 saves for Angus Gunn
in 8 minutes.
In 8 minutes, Tony. I'll tell you what, things are looking up for my fantasy team. Not so much for Southampton and Ralph Hasenhüttl. And as we were saying in the first half, I mean, this is a really morale-sapping evening. And then their next league game, they have to go away to Manchester City, who we know can do this kind of thing to any team. They've stuck 8 past Watford so far this season. So that's a good challenge by Bednarek on the halfway line. Comes back in to win another one. Beats Chilwell to it. Redmond gets it on the right. Redmond plays the ball back into central midfield. It's pass from Mayu. Good pass from Perez as Leicester win it back. Vardy's one-on-one with Yoshida. Takes it onto his left foot, tries a little pullback. There was no one there with him actually in support, so he just put it into a space, and then Vardy barges into Jack Stevens and concedes.
I think one of Vardy's weaknesses is his left foot on the left side. I think if that had been on his right side, he'd have been shooting for goal then. He wouldn't have been looking to pick anybody out across the box.
Brendan Rodgers will definitely want the clean sheet this evening, because they've not really had too much to deal with. But actually, one of the little anomalies of his reign so far is no clean sheets in 9 away games. So there's a very good chance to change that this evening. And we often talk about the stats since he's taken over. It's going to be 37 points from 20 games under Brendan Rodgers, and in that time since he's taken over, only Liverpool, Manchester City and Chelsea have bettered what Leicester have done by the start of this evening. Here's Johnny Evans playing into the feet of Wilfred Ndidi. 2-1-2s between that pair. Some Southampton fans you can hear getting stuck in around us. There's the famous when the Saints go marching in, ringing around the stands here as James Maddison plays the ball to Harvey Barnes. Chilwell, great ball into Vardy, and again just couldn't get a left toe on it. Perez isn't able to collect it on the right-hand side. Højbjerg is there in the left-back position for Southampton. Tackled by Ricardo. Højbjerg wins it back. Goes down, doesn't get the free kick. Perez has it for Leicester, gives it to Ndidi. Maddison might fancy a dip from there, but he's closed down by Romeu, so he turns back onto his right foot, gives it to Tielemans. Tielemans to Ricardo on the right. Ricardo dummies the cross, stops the ball for a second. Maddison goes in to win it, gives it to Ndidi, across to Chilwell. To Harvey Barnes. Barnes, little dink ball. What a ball. Perez brings it down, volleys it in. Offside flag stays down. And if VAR says that goal is okay, Ayoze Perez has a hat-trick for Leicester. Southampton 0, Leicester 6. What a night for him, and what a night for Leicester. What a nightmare for Southampton.
Yeah, it was a great passage of play again, and a great pass. Great run, great pass. It'll just be interesting to see if he is onside.
Every single Leicester player in that bundle again, leaping all over the back of Ayoze Perez. So Andre Mariner will wait. Tony Pulis and I will watch. Build-up's all fine. It's just going to be when Perez makes that run into the penalty area. There's a lovely floated ball from Barnes to find him. He's on. He's miles on, I think. Chests it down, volleys it in. Hat-trick for Ayoze Perez. What a night for him. Let's wait for Andre Mariner to confirm it. I can just see that he's listening in his earpiece now. He nods his head, points to the centre spot, and it is Southampton 0, Leicester City 6.
It's a great pass as well. You know, the kid, that's a great pass from Barnes. Great pick out.
Southampton kick-off, demoralised, devastated, just been destroyed this evening by Leicester. And we've only played 12 minutes in the second half as well, so this could still get a lot worse. You can hear the Leicester fans going, we want 7, we want 8, we want 9.
Well, like I say, their attitude towards the game from the start of the second half, they haven't taken their foot off the pedal at all.
Record Premier League win, by the way, probably worth keeping an eye on that, is 9-0. Here's Chilwell on the left-hand side, crossing Vardy, 7-0, couldn't miss, 2 yards out. Jamie Vardy gets his second of the night, and Leicester are heading towards double figures at the moment. Southampton 0, Leicester 7.
Yeah, this is getting beyond the joke, really. The marking again, the first pass forward, he gets a space in behind the Southampton players, and then a cross into the box, and it's a
they're leaving, Tony. They're leaving. Loads and loads of fans just cannot bear to watch this anymore. It is a cold, wet, windy night. They've come to support their team, who've managed 1 point from the first 4 home games this season. They've seen Ryan Bertrand sent off early in the game, but they've seen their team disintegrate before their eyes. There are swathes and swathes of empty seats around the St Mary's Stadium, and they are getting trounced. Southampton 0, Leicester 7. Leicester City's goal difference leaps to plus 15. That's ahead of Liverpool's now. Liverpool start on plus 14. Man City's a plus 20. And I'll tell you what, Leicester won't stop.
Well, look, that's most. It's not nice to say, but the biggest thing this half has been the way they've come out. They're 5-0 up at half time, and you might expect them just to take it a little bit easier and be a little bit overconfident, have too many touches on the ball, but they've been sharp. The passage of players been quick. It's been incisive. They've been absolutely top class.
Redmond for Southampton, a rare foray forward, immediately breaks down because Jack Stevens' pass is intercepted. Don't forget Southampton playing with 10 men, as they have been for most of this game. But Leicester, they lose the ball, and look at them, 2-3 of them chasing so hard to win it back. Free kick goes against them. I remember coming here actually and watching Southampton stick 8 past Sunderland. Is it Sunderland or Newcastle? It might be Newcastle actually, I think. Southampton 8, Newcastle 0. White scarves held aloft by the Leicester fans away to our right hand side creates a really striking visual image, and what a tribute, I guess, actually to the late chairman V. Shai, this sort of performance and the way the club has carried on without him. Ward-Prowse, great delivery into the Leicester penalty area, but Schmeichel hasn't had anything to do all night, reads it perfectly and grabs it with both hands.
Yeah, it's great ball in, the keeper's taken it really well. But they're off again now. There's no, they're not taking their foot off the pedal at all. They've got players in their team who can pass the ball, who can control the game, and they've got pace up front, and they are a threat. The 2 fullbacks, Alistair, tonight have been absolutely fantastic.
Ricardo on the right, Chilwell on the left, Iosi Perez on a hat-trick, Jamie Vardy will want a hat-trick. Here's Ricardo looking to get a cross in with his left foot, finds Perez. So Premier League record scoreline, Manchester United 9, Ipswich Town 0. I remember Tottenham sticking 9 past Wigan. I think they beat them 9-1. And I definitely know there's been a couple of 8-0s as well, but Southampton are in real danger here of being the first team in the Premier League to be beaten by a double figures scoreline, because we've only just reached the hour mark. They're down to 10 men, they're trailing 7-0, and Leicester are in the mood. Tony Pulis watching with us on BBC Radio 5 Live. What a dramatic start to our sporting weekend. 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, build up to that Rugby World Cup semi-final begins. Full commentary, game kicks off at 9 o'clock, and we'll have Wales South Africa in full for you on Sunday as well. Leicester swarming all over Southampton again. Tielemans with his right foot plays a low pass out to Ricardo, back to Tielemans. Maddison making a run, he wants to get in on the scoring action. Yoshida sticks with him, cleared. Redmond tries to hold it up, he's been muscled off it by Ndidi, he's not going to get the free kick. Romeo in with the challenge, Ndidi stretches, Barnes is through, and the free kick goes against Leicester. Otherwise that was 8, because Barnes would have scored.
Yeah, he's done well Ndidi in midfield as well. He's played, he's broken things up when he's had to, but he can move the ball quickly as well. Very simple in his passing, in his movement and everything else, but a very, very effective player. And the 2 lads alongside him, they've got that quality to get forward, they've got the quality to keep the ball. They look so well balanced, Leicester, to me.
18 minutes gone in the second half. A painful, painful night for Southampton Football Club, who are dropping into the bottom 3 this evening on goal difference, trailing 7-0 at the moment, with still about half an hour to play. Vardy heads the ball down to Harvey Barnes, who's been fantastic this evening. Maddison making it all tick, gives it to Chilwell, comes running towards him, gets it back off him. Leicester in these bright blue shirts, wet through as Johnny Evans brings the ball over the halfway line, and Ndidi short on his left, doesn't go for that pass, sees Barnes in space on the left. Barnes brings it down, plays it into Vardy, just about able to keep that under control, is able to work the pass to Tielemans, low pass, Ricardo making a run to the byline, cross comes in, Perez was lurking, it's blocked and goes behind for a Leicester City corner. My phone has just buzzed. Former producer Phil Y has gone for Wrecked by Ralph. Remember Wreck-It Ralph? Disney film Wreck-It Ralph. You've got grandkids, Tony, you might have seen that. Actually, it's not Ralph's fault. Not Ralph's fault tonight, I don't think. Bertrand's sent off, but goodness me, he looks a forlorn figure sitting down there on his Southampton seat at the moment. Leicester take their corner. They lead 7-0, heading second in the Premier League table. Ricardo's ball in. Gosh, I thought Soyuncu was going to get on the end of that and power a header in for an 8th goal. Southampton have cleared. Throw in for Leicester on the left-hand side. Harvey Barnes gets ready to take. Just trying to assess sort of body language of Southampton players at the moment, Tony, and it's tough.
As a manager stood on the line, he'll be absolutely devastated, and you do take it very, very personal. I don't think I've ever met a manager who has not taken a defeat personally, and when you get a heavy defeat, and I've had a few in my time as well, don't worry about that. It's soul destroying, and to stand there, you can't do anything about it. You're relying on those players to go out there and give everything. It's a very, very lonely place.
Tough times for Ralph Hasenhüttl at the moment. Soyuncu heads the ball away, and Ndidi's lost it for once for Leicester, gives Redmond a chance to run at Soyuncu. Soyuncu goes in, wins a tackle, then jumps into another one on Valerie, eventually wins the ball back in, goes hard on Redmond, who goes hard back on Soyuncu. Both players fall to the floor, Redmond goes over, Ndidi had him in a sort of headlock there, and this is a free kick for Southampton, and the Southampton fans, I think, there are just applauding Redmond for battling so hard. His team are 7-0 down, just to win a ball for Southampton. This is Ward-Prowse territory, actually, Tony. You'll love this.
Yeah, it'll be interesting whether he goes for goal or just leaves it in the space for someone to attack on the back post.
Let's see what James Ward-Prowse is going to do. Free kick Southampton, 7-0 down if you're just tuning in. 5-0 down at half-time. Leicester have added 2 since the break. Ryan Bertrand sent off in the build-up to Leicester's first goal. The goal went in, Chilwell scored it, and then Andre Mariner was alerted to the Bertrand challenge by the video assistant referee Mike Dean, came back and sent him off on the review. Schmeichel stands on his goal line. Leicester have a 4-man wall standing behind the white line of vanishing spray. Can Ward-Prowse give Southampton just the tiniest bit of cheer? With his right foot, round the wall, straight at Schmeichel. It's an easy save.
Yeah, but the wind's swirling all over the place. You don't know whether it's with him, against him, or whatever. The only good thing about that, it was a bit of a respite. Southampton's back 4.
I need to apologise to Newcastle. I was right in the first place. It was Southampton 8, Sunderland 0.
Did you say Newcastle?
I said Newcastle,
oh,
Tony. That's going to. Well, do you know what? I said Sunderland first. Then I thought I might be offending Sunderland fans. I got it wrong, so I went Newcastle, and I got it wrong. It was Sunderland. I was trying to remember who the manager was at the time, because I would have interviewed them after the game, and that wouldn't have been the most comfortable conversation, because I do remember interviewing Alan Pardew here as Newcastle boss after a tough defeat, but it obviously wasn't the 8-0. Graziano Pella scored 2 that day for Southampton, and they beat Sunderland.
Who was the manager?
I'm going to get Rob to look that up. He will have a look. Sunderland manager at that time. Valerie's ball into the penalty area. Leicester just struggling to get it away at the moment, leading 7-0. And since they added the 7th, actually haven't had another shot on goal. Ward-Prowse is going to hit one from range. Good block from Soyuncu, out quickly to get his body in the way. Cleared by Bednarek, and that pass finds Jack Stevens for Southampton on the halfway line. Romeo bringing the ball forward for Leicester. It goes wide to Kevin Danso. Southampton have it just inside the Leicester half. Højbjerg's trying to be too clever by half there with a little back heel. Gets tackled. So Leicester win the ball back again. Comes back to Johnny Evans. Forward into the feet of James Maddison. Gus Poyet was the manager then. I think the interview may have been fairly short and sweet. Midway through the second half, Tony Pulis with us here in the pouring rain on BBC Radio 5 Live, and Leicester leading Southampton by 7 goals to 0. Højbjerg down the left. Redmond is going to chase. He'll have the beating of Johnny Evans, and now he's on his own. Redmond onto his right foot, gets the shot away. Good save. Schmeichel, both hands, palms it high over the crossbar and behind for a corner.
Yeah, well, that's the first real opportunity, good opportunity that they've had, and it's a great save, to be fair, from Schmeichel. Redmond's done smashing running up the side, just take the two lads on, and good strike, good save.
Jan Valery is coming off. Not been a great night for him, but you can't say that for any Southampton player. Stuart Armstrong, Scotland international, signed from Celtic last summer, comes on. Ralph Hasenhüttl probably just said to him, go on son, see if you can get on there and turn the game around. 20 minutes to play. Ward-Prowse with the corner for Southampton with his right foot, swinging into that near post, headed away by Vardy. Maddison gets a foot on it. Romeo hoists it forward, just smashed long and behind for the goal kick.
Yeah, and that's what you don't need. So what was the record score away from home in the Premiership?
Away from home, good question, Tony. It's another one we need to look up. Soyuncu on the ball for Leicester.
Is Rob still awake over there?
Chilwell pokes one down the left-hand side. He got the scoring started early in the game. Perez has a hat-trick. Jamie Vardy has a couple. Tielemans got one. Chilwell's got one. That's what takes you up to 7. Ralph Hasenhüttl is out there again at the side of the pitch, hands buried deep in his pockets.
I should imagine Brendan will be looking to bring a few on now as well, make a few changes.
Yeah, good shout, Tony. Mark Albrighton is getting ready to come on and join in the fun. They've got a League Cup game away at Burton on Tuesday night, which is a 5 Live commentary, and as well as they're going in the Premier League, I was thinking about this before the game, good chance this season in the Cups, Tony, Leicester City with their squad. I know.
What they'll be looking for, they'll be looking to finish as high as they possibly can.
Yeah.
But a good cup run.
Yeah.
League Cup, FA Cup, an opportunity and a chance to get to Wembley and give their supporters a real good day out.
Harvey Barnes is the man coming off, and the Leicester City fans quite rightly applaud him warmly as he makes his way to the touchline. Product of the Leicester Academy, signed a new 5-year deal in the summer, just 21 years old, and he's been magnificent this evening.
Yeah, he's really impressed me. Not just the fact that he's been dangerous when he's had the ball at his feet and taking people on, but his movement and the way he's worked and played with players. But Chilwell behind him, if you have Chilwell behind you, you're not going to be too bad, because he has been absolutely outstanding tonight.
Barnes' chip pass for the Perez volley.
Yeah.
Well, that was a lovely ball as well. That was like the one Sterling floated onto David Silva last week in the Manchester City win against Crystal Palace. Jamie Vardy wants a hat-trick as well. Low cross in from Tielemans, intercepted by Bednarek, and the ball goes out for a throw into Leicester. And just talking about those cup competitions, Leicester City as a club have never won the FA Cup. So they've been in 4 finals, 3 of those in the 60s, and never won it. Their last semi-final was all the way back in 1982. So yes, Brendan Rodgers will want to keep it going in the league, but he'd make himself a real Leicester legend if Leicester could win the FA Cup. The League Cup they've won 3 times, a couple of times under Martin O'Neill. Here they come again. Tielemans cross. I thought Vardy was going to get on the end of it. Good defending by Bednarek. Got there first and nods it behind for a corner. Tony.
Yeah, good defending. It'll be a different game at Burton, I'll tell you that now. Different ground, different obstacles to come across.
Yeah.
And they'll make it tough, Burton. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. And Rodgers will make some changes as well, won't he, Tony? He's got the squad to be able to do that, I think.
Yeah.
but they've been excellent, Burton Albion, in the League Cup last couple of seasons. So that'll be your 5 Live commentary Tuesday night. Corner for Leicester. Maddison goes deep towards the far post, drops down here. Perez, cross goal. Oh, Johnny Evans stuck a left boot out, and somehow the ball went past it. He was on the goal line. If that had hit his boot, that was 8-0.
Johnny's shaking his head there. He just can't believe he's missed it. Perez has done fantastic, and like you said, it's an open goal really. How he's missed it, I don't know.
Well. Goal kick then. Angus Gunn is taking his time, and quite often you'd see the team ahead taking their time and trying to slow the game down. I think Angus Gunn is just trying to...
Yeah, he's taking Perez off now for Gray, so he's replaced the 2 wide players who have been fabulous tonight.
Jose Perez, before tonight, had not scored a goal for his new club, and tonight he's bagged 3. He will keep the match ball. And Jamie Vardy might fancy a match ball as well. He's still out there with 2 goals to his name. Lovely big smile from his manager Brendan Rodgers. Big hug as well. Money well spent by Leicester City on Jose Perez. Southampton 0, Leicester 7. Just over 15 minutes to play. Soyuncu on the ball. Brighton Everton, your 3 o'clock Premier League commentary tomorrow afternoon with Ian Dennis and Alan Pardew. Redmond trying to win it for Southampton. Pushed over by Wilfred Ndidi. Fastest goal service on the radio as well. So Ian and Alan will keep you up to date with everything that's going on in the world of football. There'll be an hour of sports report from 5 till 6. And I tell you what, actually, here's an early punt for calls, but Chris Sutton and I will be taking the calls tomorrow night on 6:06. So I would love to hear from Southampton fans and Leicester fans tomorrow night, even though your team's playing tonight. Plenty to talk about. The record away win, Tony, here's your answer for you. Rob's woken up. February 1999, Nottingham Forest 1, Manchester United 8. I remember it. Solskjaer came off the bench and scored 4 in no time at all. So 7-0 equals that record margin at the moment as Ward-Prowse chips a free kick into the Leicester penalty area. They'll be desperate to keep the clean sheet as well. Højbjerg on the left for Southampton. Brave, hardy, gluttons for punishment, the Southampton fans who've stayed tonight in foul conditions to watch their team get ripped apart. Romeo's on the ball on the halfway line. Really is being played at quite a slow pace at the moment. Jack Stevens in a bit of space on the right hand side. Ralph Hasenhutl's made all his changes now, and here's Nathan Redmond, shadowed by Soyuncu. Redmond. Now the Southampton fans are going to have a bit of fun. They're olaying their team. Stuart Armstrong to Redmond. Every pass gets a cheer. Ward-Prowse works it well to Armstrong on the right. Into the area he goes. Chilwell chases back. Good defending. Slides in. Blocks it behind for a corner.
I'd like to see him score, actually. Get something out of the game.
Jamie Vardy's back to do his duties at the near post. Corner for Southampton. James Ward-Prowse, more often than not, provides excellent dead ball delivery. And again, it will get ironic cheers, big cheers, if Southampton can stick one in the back of the net. Left arm goes up from Ward-Prowse, right-footed, swung into the back post. Yoshida tries to get on it. Redmond with a half volley. Yoshida sticks a foot up, back to Redmond. Looked like he might be getting tugged back. Still Redmond down to the byline, tries to cross in, and Ndidi blocks it. Last touch came off Redmond, and it goes behind for the goal kick.
Yeah, good decision by the referee.
Southampton 0, Leicester City 7. Goal kick Leicester. Schmeichel short to Johnny Evans. On to Tielemans, to James Maddison. Maddison has the strength to hold off Ward-Prowse with his right foot. Plays it to Albrighton. Low pass to Maddison. He wanted to let that run across him, but he was beaten to it. Here's Højbjerg, just outside his own box. Just got enough on that pass to get it away from Albrighton. James Ward-Prowse down the line, and Redmond doesn't even bother chasing after that because he knew
it was offside. Yeah,
he was offside by 2
yards.
Right, what are we reading here on the BBC Sport website? Ralph Hasenhutl looks on from the dugout. Southampton's biggest ever defeat was an 8... Oh, it's gone. Because there's another update. Go on, we're going to have to find that again. Here we go. Biggest ever defeat was an 8-0 loss to Tottenham in March 1936, and same scoreline against Everton in November 1971. So records in danger of being broken tonight. In the Premier League, they lost 7-1 against Everton in November 96, and Liverpool in January 1999. Thank you, producer Rob, who's also provided some delightful biscuits this evening, Tony.
He certainly
Wouldn't
has.
you say? A little bit of raspberry chocolate crunch.
I always enjoy my chocolate when I work for the BBC.
I know you do. I had to say they were slightly smaller in size than I expected, but there were plenty of them. So.
Yeah, but you told me what Rob was like before the programme started.
Tielemans into Ndidi. So our record's going to be broken. Ricardo with his left foot. Leicester have space. Damari Gray's first touch of the evening. Step over, cross to the far post, hooked away by Stevens. Gets a right foot on the ball. It goes out for a throw.
Again, another great cross. Another great ball into the box.
12 minutes remaining in the game. Leicester have 7. Here's Albrighton. Albrighton plays back to Tielemans. Tielemans across to Ndidi. Ndidi to Damari Gray. So 2 fresh wide men on for Leicester. Gray running across the face of the Southampton penalty area. Little step over the ball, back to Tielemans. Chilwell looks up, he's got 2 or 3 runners in the box there, decides not to use them, gets it back from Tielemans. Albrighton down the line to Gray, who's come over from the right to the left. Albrighton back to Chilwell. Chilwell to Soyuncu, 10 yards inside the Southampton half, plays it across to Johnny Evans. Evans strokes that pass precisely with his left foot to Ricardo, back to Maddison to Soyuncu. So just Leicester basically going out wide, coming back into the middle and working it left to right against a tired, despondent, bedraggled Southampton team. Just going left, right, like a set of windscreen wipers at the moment. Maddison then just thought about trying to release a cheeky one down the right for Ricardo. Gave it to Gray instead. Gray to Ricardo. Offside flag stays down. Cross comes in. It's behind Vardy. On the turn is Albrighton. Lays it back to Tielemans. Tielemans in turn back to Chilwell. Goes for the top corner. Just too much curl on it. Goes wide of the post and behind for the goal kick.
Alistair, I don't know if you noticed in that movement, I don't think anyone had more than 2 touches of the ball. They were moving the ball so quickly, whether they was going side to side, but no one was overplaying. There wasn't too many touches. Everybody's just playing, control passing and moving non-stop for about 2 or 3 minutes.
Absolutely. And you were right, Tony, in the first half as well. I'm trying to remember which goal it was that had all those passes put together before it, but it's one of those goals they may well look at on Match of the Day tomorrow night, 10:20 BBC One, because it was a huge number of passes put together in the move. I think it was Vardy's goal. It was the fourth, wasn't it?
Yeah. They've passed the ball ever so well, but they haven't. Nobody has taken advantage or taken the mick out of the situation in respect of them being so far ahead.
Yeah, good point.
They've just been so professional in the way they've defended and the way they've had the ball.
Says a lot for Leicester, says a lot for Brendan Rodgers as well. Vardy stretches to try and win the ball. Now then, this could be dangerous for Southampton. I thought Leicester were going to go quick on the counter because Damari Gray and Vardy were both away there. Vardy's looking to make another run. He's on the last shoulder of Bednarek and Stevens at the moment. Tielemans doesn't use him. He's tackled. Throw in for Leicester. I think Brendan Rodgers has got one more change to make if he's going to do that. Options are James Justin, Wes Morgan, Hamza Chowdhury or Dennis Pratt, and we've got Jack Stevens down with an injury for Southampton, so everyone is taking a breather. Right, more stats and information coming here from Rob Nothman. So this is a text that's popped up on the BBC Sport website from Mike S in Watchet. 4 traffic-strewn hours to bring my Saints fan son to his first game. Football is cruel, so
he won't forget it.
Tony, no, he won't forget it. I think one of your grandsons was going to come along this evening.
Yeah, he certainly was.
Saints fan or not?
He's at the Saints Academy. He's only a little one.
Right. Okay.
Having said that, pleased he hasn't come tonight either.
No, tough. Well, all I would say is it can only get better from there. If that's your first experience, you're not going to see too many games like that. Leicester actually slight miscommunication for the first time. Albrighton curling a pass down the line. Chilwell had gone short. Albrighton went long. And the ball's gone behind for a goal kick. So everything has slowed down. Brendan Rodgers actually, Tony, just talking from the other side, from the manager's point of view, you want your team to be ruthless, but actually Brendan Rodgers down there will know what this feels like for Hasenhüttl, won't he? You will have empathy for your fellow manager down there.
Everything's slowed down, but the Southampton manager will be hoping that clock moves on a lot quicker than what it is. You just want to get off the pitch. You want to get the players back in the dressing room, whether he has them in tomorrow.
Tielemans Plays it forward to Maddison. Maddison swings on infield to Vardy. Chance for Leicester here. Vardy on the hat-trick, fouled on the edge of the box. Went past Bednarek. Free kick for Leicester. That's Maddison territory now.
I tell you, will Vardy look to get on that ball?
I think he'd want to, wouldn't he? I think he'd want to.
Johnny Evans, well, yeah, he's just passed it over. Maddison will take this.
Yeah. Maddison's not on the score sheet yet.
Like I say, he'll be stood there now, just hoping and praying that they don't score another one, and he can get off and he can get his players off as quick as possible.
So Southampton's record defeat in their history, 8-0 both times. One of those back in the 30s. If James Maddison can whip this in, then it will be 8-0. Leicester leading 7-0, going second in the Premier League table. Some statement they've sent out tonight, because yes, Southampton have been down to 10, but they've been so good, so professional, so ruthless, and they just look a very solid, confident outfit. Maddison is setting himself, and it's lovely this as well, because it's right in the middle, so he could go either way. This is tricky for Angus Gunn. He set the wall up to his right, covering the right-hand side of his goal. He's away to the left-hand side. Maddison will look to hit it to his right, I would guess. Here he goes, Maddison round the wall. What a goal! 8-0, James Maddison on the score sheet. Nothing Angus Gunn can do about that, and it just gets worse and worse and worse for Southampton. Southampton 0, Leicester City 8.
Absolutely wonderful free kick, for whatever we say and whatever we don't say, the technique was fabulous. Goalkeeper's got absolutely no chance.
He set it up, Tony, to say to Maddison, if you're going to score, you're going to have to put it in that top corner. And Maddison said, you know what, I'm good enough to do that.
Yeah, just watching it again. Yeah, it's a fabulous free kick.
Everything they've hit pretty much has gone in. In fact, there was one in the first half that almost went through Gunn, and he grabbed on the line. This could easily have been 10-0. It really could.
Yeah. Well, if I was they've got a free kick on the halfway line. If I was Southampton, I wouldn't be taking this too quickly now. 8-0
then. Next up for Leicester, in fact I'm doing their next Premier League game, is away at Crystal Palace. It's a 5 Live commentary next Sunday. They're also in 5 Live's commentary game on Tuesday night in the League Cup away to Burton. Redmond is offside here. Arsenal then come to them. I mean, you fancy Leicester in that game, because Arsenal,
away from home.
Yeah. Then they go to Brighton. Then they've got Everton and Watford coming to them. Then they go to Villa. Then they've got Norwich before 2 really tough games right at the start of the Christmas stretch away to Manchester City and Liverpool. But
Alistair, let me stop you there. Okay. It's the Premier League, and they're not going to walk through every game like they've walked through tonight.
You're right, Tony, you're right. Good question from Rob, actually. This is for you, Tony. Hang on, my notes are blown around all over the place. Rob is just asking the question, if you were Ralph Hasenhüttl, do you get the players in for training tomorrow?
Sure. I'm not sure whether I'd be wanting to look at them for a good 48 hours. It's different managers have different ideas about that.
Oh my goodness, it could be 9. Damari Gray's in on the right, he's overrun it. Yoshida's knocked it behind. Do you know what, Tony?
Bringing them in, you've just got absolutely taken to the cleaners. Bringing them in and talking to them about it, or just clear. You've just got to clear your mind. You've got to clear your own mind.
Yeah.
The lad won't sleep tonight.
Corner taken short, Southampton fast asleep. Maddison goes deep with it, beyond Soyuncu. Runs to Chilwell. Can Leicester get a 9th and equal Manchester United's win against Ipswich? Not like that. Albright with a low shot, scuffed a little bit, goes bobbling across the turf, and Angus Gunn makes the save. Would you say, Tony, that the application from Southampton's been better in the second half?
The one thing I would say, I'd like to analyse how many opportunities and chances Southampton have had to stop the ball being played forward, to stop crosses, and then marking in the final third. And I'd certainly, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's Sunday or Monday, I'll certainly be going through a few things like that with them, and how many real challenges and real tackles have gone in. They're the questions, without question of a doubt.
Those are the questions for Ralph Hasenhüttl. It gets harder as well. Next league game away to Manchester City. Here come Leicester down the right. Ricardo's cross. They want a 9th. It's blocked. Tielemans is in space on the edge of the area. Albrighton waiting at the far post. Indeed, he took so long over that. Didn't see Redmond coming. Ward-Prowse gets it off him. Ndidi wins a tackle to get it back. Jack Stevens clears. And Soyuncu miscontrols. But the other thing as well is, OK, beat 8-0 tonight, and Ralph Hasenhüttl can point to the sending off. But as I was saying in the first half, Tony, 3 Premier League wins in the last 17 games. If you look at the end of last season as well, it's not good reading at the moment.
No, he'll know all of that, and he'll have all that in the back of his mind. Like I say, it's very, very disappointing. You know that managers, you have to manage yourself, not manage just the football club, and you have to take, you know, the good with the bad, and you accept you're going to get ups and downs. But you know, this is a big blow tonight. The worst thing about it, I could talk about 30 things that you know you'd want to improve, but he'll be a very, very lonely man. A very lonely man.
Tony Pulis, former Premier League manager, knows exactly what it can feel like down there for Ralph Hasenhüttl, who looks lonely standing in the pouring rain. His team's 8-0 down and Leicester are coming at them again. We're just ticking over into the 90th minute of the game. Damari Gray is on the turn for Leicester on the edge of the box. And Ndidi plays it wide to Chilwell. Chilwell's cross, blocked by Ward-Prowse, goes behind for a corner. I mean, the Leicester end obviously is still packed.
Rob's doing the stats. Yeah. How many crosses have they got in tonight?
Wow.
Leicester.
It'll be a huge amount. Corner for Leicester. Will they get the 9th goal in the 90th minute of the game? Maddison, deep to the far post, headed away. Who's going to get there first? It should be Bednarek. It is for Southampton. Soyuncu gets back at him, wants to win that ball for Leicester, battling hard. Bednarek holds him off, clips one through the middle. Can't find Armstrong. Leicester have it again. And how much added time is going to be?
Well, the referee's got to be very, very kind here and actually give no added time.
I'm going to go for... I was going to say 2, actually. 2's gone up. 2 minutes of added time for Southampton to try and survive and then drag themselves from this pitch. Albrighton's going down the left, trying to beat Stevens. Gets the cross in. Vardy stretches, can't control it. Doesn't look like Vardy's going to get the hat-trick tonight, so the match ball will belong to Ayose Perez. Ben Chilwell on his right foot, works it to his left, gives it to Maddison, and I just dread to think, looking at my fantasy team, what that's going to mean for Angus Gunn, having conceded 8. I don't think I've ever had a keeper that's conceded 8. That's not going to be good. Gray, cross to Maddison, 40 yards out, chips it forward to the edge of the box. Danso heads it away. 90 seconds to play. Rain relentless, just making it worse.
Leicester relentless.
Absolutely. Tielemans, ball to the far post, controlled by Chilwell on his chest. Albrighton's behind him in space. Jack Stevens just comes jogging out. Albrighton finds Tielemans, drops on the volley, hits it first time, struck it well, took a deflection. Ball comes spinning out of the penalty area and runs to Johnny Evans. Vardy might just get one more chance, you know. Tielemans cross in, too close to Angus Gunn, catches it with both hands, and we're into the last minute of the game. And it'll be interesting to see, actually. I mean, Hasenhüttl obviously will go to shake Brendan Rodgers' hand. Whether he will applaud the Southampton fans for sticking with it, he should. What sort of reception he'll get if he does, we'll just have to wait and see. Long ball knocked downfield, headed clear by Leicester. Romeu controls it, plays it to Danso. Danso chips it across here to Jack Stevens. Stevens down the right hand side. Redmond's just not got the energy or the desire to get to that. Southampton working it down the right. Leicester with one more chance to counter. 20 seconds to play. Vardy might be in. Vardy is in from the ball from Albrighton. Still going at the near post, knocked over by Bednarek. I don't believe it. He's given a penalty. It is a penalty to Leicester in the last seconds of the game, which Jamie Vardy will take to try and score a hat-trick, to make it 2 hat-tricks for Leicester tonight and to equal the record-winning scoreline in Premier League history, which Manchester United did against Ipswich Town. It was a great ball from Albrighton. As soon as Vardy set off, you knew he was going to get there first, Tony.
Yeah, again, I don't know why he's making that challenge, really. You've got to stay on your feet. And the other thing is, you know, the referee's got... has he got no sympathy in his body at all?
This this is the last kick of the game. The last kick of the game, and the Southampton fans actually have come down to the bottom of that stand and they're leaping around, waving their arms, trying to put Jamie Vardy off. This for another hat-trick for Jamie Vardy. Hands on hips for a 9th for Leicester to complete their misery. Great penalty, great goal. Jamie Vardy's hat-trick, incredibly, makes it Southampton 0, Leicester City 9. The full-time whistle blows. Ralph Hasenhüttl disappears, a dejected man down the tunnel. Leicester goes second in the Premier League table, and that equals the record-winning score in Premier League history. A nightmare from start to finish for Southampton. Nothing good about that performance whatsoever. Bertrand sent off via VAR in the build-up to the first goal. They collapsed. Tony Pulis, brilliant for Leicester. They were fabulous. That is a horror show for Southampton.
Yeah, you've got the two aspects of the game today. You've got a team full of energy, full of confidence, quality players. Everybody looks comfortable in their shape and in their position and what they're trying to do. And then on the opposite side, a team that was just, even right from the start for me, just didn't look set up well enough to cope with Leicester.
An incredibly dramatic night at the St Mary's Stadium. The rain continues to fall. To their credit, the Southampton players have not disappeared. They've gone to applaud their fans who've stuck with it, and I think to apologise for the performance. The Leicester City players shake hands with them respectfully and politely, and they will then go over and celebrate with their fans who've had one heck of a night. Full-time score, Southampton 0, Leicester 9.